Oh, I love it. This is the best football show. I'm your host, Brian Baldinger. I'm here just about every day, every week right now, talking football. You can find me at Baldy NFL on Twitter and TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, you name it. You can find all kinds of merchandise and all kinds of other good stuff at baldysbreakdowns.com. All right. You can find this app wherever you get your apps, this free Odyssey app. Download it, like it, subscribe to it, tell all your friends about it. We're trying to grow it. Let's start and kick off week 11 in the NFL. It started last night in South Philly at Lincoln Financial Field between the Commanders and the Eagles. And Commanders, jumped out to an early lead, and the Eagles just do what they do. They kind of start slow and then they just gain speed. But let's face it, this team is built around Saquon Barkley, and he delivered again last night. After 10 games, he leads the National Football League in rushing. I predicted that he would lead the league in rushing. We'll see what happens with Derrick Henry this weekend in Pittsburgh, and we'll track the two of them. But right now, Saquon's never gotten runways and openings and splits like he's getting in Philadelphia. Best offensive line. He's playing behind Lane Johnson, the all-pro right tackle, has described this offense to me as we just run and hit something. We just run and hit something. Mekhi Becton, Cam Jurgens, Landon Dickerson, Jordan Mailata back in at left tackle. They really owned the line of scrimmage, especially in the second half. 2 breakaway touchdowns for Saquon, a breakaway check down for 40-something yards, and they opened the game up. They actually made Jaden Daniels look a little bit like a rookie last night. Didn't get the big plays over the top. Didn't get the big runs from them. Had the good opening drive, really good opening drive right down the field. But really after that, kind of slowed down. So let's credit the Eagles' defense that is fueled by a couple of new pieces. You look at Zach Bond, that inside linebacker. He now has more tackles in 10 games with the Eagles than he had 4 years combined with the New Orleans Saints. So give Vic Fangio, the defense coordinator, and Howie Roseman a ton of credit for recognizing the ability that Zach Bond has and what he has done so far this year. And then, you just look at the rookie corner and Cooper DeJean and what they've done to the secondary. I mean, they're making one big play after another. Can't get the ball over the rookie's head. He's been phenomenal, just unbelievable right now. So the Eagles right now at 8-2, and I believe they've won 6 in a row now, are now standalone in first place in the NFC East. And I expect the Eagles to win the division. I don't think they're going to collapse. They probably played their best all-around game last night against the Commanders. It took that. It was a 12-10 game with 6 minutes to go in the game. So credit to Commanders for hanging in there. In fact, Quan Martin, the safety, punched the ball out of Dallas Goedert's hands. The ball's on the ground. It's a 12-10 game. If the Commanders recover it, they get the ball at their own 30-yard line. A field goal goes to win it. And, the ball's out in the ground, and Grant Calcaterra beats Frankie Louvu to the ball to recover it, and the Eagles would go on and score. Shortly thereafter, Saquon hit one in the alley for a touchdown to put them up 20-12. Okay, that's the Eagles. They're in control. They're playing great football. They're not turning it over. Reed Blankenship got a second interception last night to put the game on ice. It was a good win on a short week. Let's get to some of the big games this weekend, because I'll be in Pittsburgh this weekend for Baltimore and Pittsburgh. It also is for first place in the AFC North. Right now, the Steelers at 7-2 and the Ravens at 7-3. Steelers win, very similar. They go to 8-2. Ravens drop to 7-4. It's a big deal. The Ravens go to Pittsburgh and win. There's another rematch coming. Back in fact, that rematch is December 21st. The thing that concerns me about the Ravens is just their pass defense. It's no secret. I mean, the last time they played on Thursday night, Joe Burrow threw 4 touchdown passes and threw for 436 yards against the secondary. He did similar things in week 5. Other quarterbacks have done similar things. They've given up a league worst 22 touchdown passes this year. And Russell Wilson, by the way, is 3-0 as a starter. He's thrown 6 touchdown passes in those 3 games, including the game winner last week to Mike Williams. He's playing at a very high level. Maybe not completing the highest percentage of passes he ever has, but he's completing for a big yards per attempt, getting the ball to George Pickens, getting the ball down the field, in addition to a powerful rushing attack. Now, can Lamar keep up? Yes. He's done it twice against Cincinnati this year, where he had to play from behind. Week 5 against Cincinnati, down 10 points most of the second half, and just kept chipping away until they won it in overtime. Can Lamar play that style? Yeah. In fact, I think it's healthy for Lamar. I mean, Lamar right now he's thrown 24 touchdown passes and 2 interceptions. It's absurd what he's doing. Now, he's going to see a really good defense in Pittsburgh. Guys that, you're going to see T.J. Watt against a rookie and Roger Rosengarten. I'm sure that Baltimore will have all kinds of ways to help their rookie out against TJ. They know what kind of damage he can do. So I'm sure they'll game plan it. Both teams are a run-first team. Both teams prefer to run it rather than throw it. We'll see if they can stay into those game plans. This I want to just explain to you. I've done a lot of Ravens-Steelers games over the years. I was on the sideline for a Ravens-Steelers playoff game. With Ray Lewis and Troy Polamalu and Joe Flacco, you name it. And I was on the sideline for that game. I'm just telling you, this game is played at a different intensity level, just a different level of violence, different level of hitting. It always has been, and it will on Sunday afternoon. And maybe that decides this game. I would invite any football fan at any level, man or woman, ex-player, wannabe player, child, Pop Warner Football League player. Just stand on the sidelines and listen to this game and listen to the intensity that this game is played with. I expect that Pittsburgh will march out 2 captains in the name of Patrick Queen and Deshaun Elliott as captains for the Steelers this week. Both were drafted by the Ravens, given up for contracts, injuries, whatever. They're now Steelers. And Deshaun Elliott leads the team in tackles. Patrick Queen probably played his best game last week against the Commanders. That's going to be a lot of fun. Let's get to Buffalo. Kansas City in Buffalo. As we know, Kansas City is just recently won in overtime against Tampa. Got the ball in overtime, went down the field, and beat the Bucs, but it was a nail-biter. They blocked a field goal with no time left last week to defeat the Broncos. Could have easily lost that game 17-14. But that's all right. That's kind of what the league is like. It's just close. These games are close. They're won in the fourth quarter. They're won on big plays. Both these teams know it. Patrick, maybe if I was announcing this game, and I've announced plenty of Buffalo, Kansas City games over the year, I probably have said at some point in the opening of the game that whatever quarterback has the ball last, whether it's Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, probably wins the game. They're just that close. We saw, obviously, in overtime a couple of years ago in Kansas City, where Mahomes gets it in overtime and he wins the game, and Josh Allen never gets a chance, and they've changed the rules because of that outcome. Overtime rules in the playoffs because of these two teams. What I like about Buffalo is I love their offensive line. Spencer Brown, Osiris Torrance, Connor McGovern, David Edwards, Deion Dawkins. Those 5 guys have started all 10 games. Probably played nearly every snap in those 10 games. There's not a style of play that they can't excel at. You want to pound the football with James Cook and Ray Davis and Josh Allen, they can do it. If you want to protect Josh Allen, let him throw it, they can do it. Any style. And look, here comes Chris Jones, and here comes Steve Spagnuolo, and here comes blitzes, and the most dominant defensive tackle in the game. I like how Buffalo can handle that. And if things crumble up front, we know that Josh Allen can rescue things. I kind of like the Bills in this game, although it seems ridiculous at this point to ever go against Patrick Mahomes. So I don't want to eat my words right now, but kind of like, because we know that, honestly, both these teams are going to be in the playoffs. They might very well see each other again in the playoffs. And then, because both teams know that, okay, if they win this game, it's great. They stay on top of their divisions. And Kansas City, if they win, they stay undefeated and 10-0, and Buffalo wins, and they go to 9-2, and they're they're the number one seed in the AFC next to Kansas City. But they'll be fighting for it. They'll be fighting for that number one seed to be a game behind Kansas City. A lot to play for, but we know this is all about the playoffs. Final game I want to get to is out in Los Angeles, where Jim Harbaugh has his team playing great football. Their defense, the Chargers, have given up the fewest points in the league. They're giving up right now about 13 points a game. I mean, it's staggering. And they're starting 2 rookie corners. But you watch Deion Henley at linebacker. He leads the team in tackles by over 30. The guy is a rising superstar. He never comes off the field. Denzel Perryman will come off the field. They'll play dime defense with Derwin James. But Deion doesn't come off the field. He's in his second year at Washington State. Pay attention. Pay attention to what Henley is doing. And then on offense, man, they're going to put out Scott Matlock at fullback, number 44, two-way player. Line up an I formation with Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins and pound you. They'll play action pass off that I formation. Hit a shot like they did last week to Josh Palmer. They're now, you look at Justin Herbert. I mean, you have to account for him in the run game. Ran for the 4th and 4 touchdown last week to open that game up. They're playing Harbaugh-style football. It's a little close to the vest, but they play action pass. They'll get the ball down the field to the receivers, whether it's, Johnston right now or whether it's Ladd McConkey. They'll get the ball down. Josh Palmer, they get the ball down the field. But they're going to try to win the line of scrimmage with a good offensive line. But this is do or die for Cincinnati. Can Joe Burrow pierce this secondary right now? Like I said, they've given up the fewest points in the league. It's not even close right now. But Joe Burrow should be at full strength. He's had 10 days to get ready. He's coming off a 436-yard performance on the road on a short week against Baltimore. He's going to get tons of pressure. Whether it's Khalil Mack, if he's going this week, or Tui Pelotu, or Joey Bosa, he's going to get a ton of pressure. And can he hold up? Can the tackles hold up? Can the offensive line of the Bengals hold up for Joe to get going? I mean, they're 4-6. They basically, Joe Burrow will tell the whole world he basically has to be perfect. And he kind of does. One thing about the way Harbaugh plays is because they run the ball, because they take the air out of the ball, because they shrink the game the way they play time of possession, long possessions, they kind of hold you sometimes to 8 possessions. So if Joe Burrow gets 8 possessions, if they don't, take the ball away, which can give you a 9th or a 10th, if you play that style of football, you might only get 8 possessions. And so you got to take care of the football. You got to maximize those 8, preferably touchdowns, obviously, over field goals, but you got to score. You might not get that many chances. Joe knows that. And this is the Bengals have to be at their very best against a really sound team. They start 2 rookies at corner. You're going to see the leading receiver in the NFL right now. He might be leading in the Triple Crown, and Jamar Chase, he knows he's got to be big. I think they get T back. So they got to be great. And they're certainly capable of doing that. It's their season is on the line. But, the Chargers are stacking wins right now, and they're taking the position of the head coach, Jim Harbaugh. He knows how to do this. He's done this every stop. So here we go. Playoff football out in Los Angeles this weekend at SoFi for these Cincinnati Bengals and Los Angeles Chargers. And that has been the best football show. Thanks for joining me. Can't wait to break down Week 11 on Monday from NFL Films coming back from Pittsburgh in that battle of Baltimore and Pittsburgh. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I'll talk to you real soon.